Okay, hello, Estella. Are you there?
Yes, I'm here. I'm sorry I couldn't get through.
Oh, I know. We maxed out the lines. You're just so popular, Estella. So, hello, everybody. My name is Art Manville. Thank you, Terry, for those wonderful introductions. And we're going to get the call rolling here. We're very excited and honored to have Estella Salinas, 500K premier from Mexico. She's very, very busy down there. I think Aaron Garrity is coming in today. So I've got a picture, Estella. I'm not sure if are you not able to get on your computer either, Estella?
I'm fine now, but I was trying to make the phone call through the Skype or something because I don't know why it didn't get through. It says that it wasn't invalid.
No worries, no worries. Well, I've got a beautiful picture of you and Aaron up here. And so, Stella, thank you for coming on our webinar. And I basically have invited Estella because we heard about this tremendous business that she was doing here in July. I believe, Estella, something like 2,500 new members in your team in what most people would think of as a summer month, and $470,000 or $80,000 in new volume. Congratulations, Estella.
Thank you so much. Yes, we're excited here. We're growing, and well, what can I say? We're so happy and feel so blessed to be with Zango, really.
Well, Estella, for people that don't really know your story a little bit, let's maybe just talk a little bit about how long you got involved, why you got involved in Zango, and really what, where, and then where does your passion come from for it?
Well, I've been in the industry for so many years. I was in another company for 13 years, and then I was really successful. I was the highest level in all Latin America, but the problem was that it was only me and just like 5 more making money. So I was desperate, and of course we started losing people because people get to this business to make money, and they were not making money, and we were desperate, and until there was a moment that I couldn't go on stage and promote anything because I couldn't believe what I was doing. I couldn't trust anybody there and the money or anything, so I left, and I thought I left the industry for good. I was so disappointed, and I stayed doing nothing for a year and a half. And then somebody contacted me for this, somebody that I didn't even knew. But it was through my sister-in-law that I really loved, and that's why I got into the. Well, I signed up because I didn't plan on doing it, but I signed up. Thank God.
Just to be polite, right?
Well, yeah, and just for this guy to stop calling because he was really persistent. And I didn't want to build it, but somehow I knew if I signed up, he would stop calling, and that happened. So I was relaxed. I stayed like that for 4 months, and after 4 months, he called again. And thank God he put me over the phone with Bob Schmidt, and then I decided to build this. Bob, I remember he said to me, "You need to give the industry a second chance." And he was so convincing. And since he used to be in the same company that I was before, I believed him. And I decided to go to this regional in Vegas. And I got sponsored there, really sponsored there. I decided to do the business after that.
Yeah, Estella, it's interesting listening to your story. For those of you that are listening, I hope you've picked up a couple key pointers that persistence, obviously, for Stella's sponsor, called her a number of times, never really gave up on her. I know sometimes people will only call a person once, and here they kept calling and calling until finally they used a third-party expert, which we've been teaching a lot lately, to get you on the phone, and that added a lot of credibility. And then you went to an event, and that's where you really turned on. It's interesting, isn't it? All the elements of successful networking all in your story there.
I know, isn't that amazing? And I'm so glad that you point that out because it's true. Everything that we promote happened to me.
Exactly.
I don't think I will decide to go to that regional, but because I talked to Bob, and it was so wise what he said, you know. He said, okay, I mean, this industry, I believe this industry deserves a second chance. You just have one experience. You cannot qualify the whole industry because of that. And he was so right.
Well, I can tell you that we're all grateful that that you're involved, Estella.
Yes.
You know, and the one thing before we get into some of your slides here that when I heard you last, you know, you were. It's really interesting, actually, as I heard you on an Andy Willoughby webinar a number of months ago, and you were laying out this incredible plan and vision and work ethic that you were planning to put into Mexico. You had already started, and it's interesting because now I think we've seen the fruits of your labor. But one of the things that I heard from you, and I heard in your voice, and I heard in your tone, was this incredible level of certainty that you have about this industry and the ability to change lives. That you know, I mean, when you talk to people, I'm sure they feel that level of certainty within you.
Well, that art, I believe, is the key point here. I mean, I don't know if you. Well, I barely can see TV or go to the movie or whatever. We are so focused now into working and growing this business. But the other day I was looking at this TV show named Lie to Me. It's a guy that can tell if you're lying just by the way you move your eyes or your mouth or your face or your eyebrows or whatever. And I was talking to one of my premieres, and I say, no wonder people really can't sponsor somebody. I mean, if you don't really believe in what you're doing, if you don't really believe in it, people can't tell. I mean, and they don't listen to what you're saying. They're listening to all the other language that you are having through your face and through your tone of voice. And I believe the only way that you can gain some certainty out of this business is by getting to know more and more about the industry, if you're new, or about Zango. And we just went to Europe to sponsor this woman that has been our friend for so many years and was in the other company too. And we haven't spoke to her for years, but we got there, and I promote the regional so hard because I wanted her to see the founders. I knew she will be able to tell this is true and I want to build it just by watching the founder's eyes. And that's one of the things that I love about this, and about Zango, I mean, that we are building this with really trustful, honest, passionate people that are building this because it's their dream, just like it's our dream to build this for our families. I feel so blessed, Art. I feel so blessed to be here. But I really think that people need to get involved and go to every event so they get to know the founders, they get to know what Zango is. Because I believe Zango is going to be like a before and after Zango in the industry. This is huge. This is going to be huge. And like Gary always said, this is the beginning. It's only the beginning. I'm so excited right now about everything that's going on. It's amazing.
Well, you know, Estella, you know, you talk about events and the power of events and continuing to go to events, and I've felt that way myself. That if a leader, if you're not going to or having events on a regular basis, it's not. You know, sometimes I think we think that the events are for ourselves, but they're really for the people that are attending a lot of times, aren't they?
Exactly.
You know, now, so let's talk about. I've got some pictures up here of you with Joe and your team around your first meeting in Mexico. I mean, how old is that picture? When does that go back, Estella?
Oh my God, it was like in 2006. It was the first time that Joe was here. It was the beginning of 2006 because I started the business in May.
May of 2006.
2005.
May of 2005.
But I was not sure what I was doing. My other the compensation plan of the other company that I was coming from, it was so different. So I couldn't qualify like a higher pin. I was between I qualified 1K, then I qualified 5K, and I stayed like that like for 8 months.
As a 5K?
I couldn't understand. I couldn't understand a thing. And suddenly I did. Suddenly I did. And because I started reading and I started attending everything, trying to figure out how to build it. So I qualified like 20K, and next month I qualified Premier. It was really fast after that.
Well, I mean, I guess I should ask you, for those that are listening, I mean, what was it that you shifted to suddenly, what did you do differently to suddenly start to move up in the ranks?
Because I understood how it was. I mean, the compensation plan here. So I had the numbers, I had the people, but I was not promoting like them for them to qualify 1K so they could qualify 5K, so then could qualify 20K. I couldn't understand that. I mean, it cost me a lot of time, and I was just showing this every night like crazy, I mean, nonstop. So I had a huge volume, but not a structure at all. I mean, and suddenly I understood, and I structured. I mean, I said, this is what we're going to do, and I qualified 20K, and 2 months later I qualified Premier, and the next month I qualified Premier 100. I was with this huge volume already, because I started working since day one. I didn't understand anything, but I was sharing this because it was so powerful for me to go to that first event, because I saw so many people making money and going on stage. That was unheard. I mean, I've never seen that before. So many people going on stage, and I was like, why? And Bob Schmidt said to me, this is much easier. I mean, you need to understand this is much, much easier than from where we are coming from. So I just started sharing, and the amazing things that start happening with the juice help a lot.
Yeah, you saw the power in the product. Well, there's a couple of questions that people are always asking about here, as we've got one of your premiers here, Jorge, 100K premier up there.
Yeah, he's one of my 100Ks. I'm watching the presentation now. He's my dearest friend. He was so afraid to join this because he was in the other company with me, and it took a year for him to decide because he was afraid of getting disappointed again.
Yeah.
I remember when this guy quit the other company, he came to me with his planner and he said, "Okay, I've shown this last year 1,000. I did 1,000 presentations."
1,000 presentations he did.
1,000, and he said, "And I'm still in the same volume. This is not working for me. I'm leaving." And I couldn't say a thing because the guy put all his efforts and work, and so he was so afraid to get involved in another network marketing company. And finally, my check and my growth convinced him, and he took a year, but he's about to qualify 200K right now. I'm so excited.
Wow. And Sergey, 100K is who's this?
Circe. She's
Circe?
a girl. Yeah, she's a girl I didn't know, and this is one of the blessings that we found in this industry. Her sponsor quit after leaving her with me, and she's an amazing girl. She was a high professional, paid girl. I mean, she was one of the top earners in her work. She had a good spot there, and she was making money and everything, but she fell in love with it. And she came to me one day and she said, "I'm going to quit my job because this is what I want to do the rest of my life." And she's so passionate, and she's so nice. She's a hard worker too. She's really great.
And this is your 200K. So these are your qualifiers here. This is the Liz.
This is my sister.
That's your sister?
Yeah, and my little nephew.
Isn't he cute?
Oh, he's so cute. I'm in love with this baby boy. He's the son of my brother. And this is my dear sister, and she was so afraid of building this too. She invited her nine best friends for the first meeting that I showed, and everybody laughed at her, and she decided not to do it. So I had to wait for a year again for her to decide joining me. I sponsored some people under her. I mean, she's my sister. I adore her, and
Yeah.
I knew she was capable of building this. So I put some people under her, and I just wait for her to sponsor someone. And that was the third person she sponsored. I sponsored two. So when she sponsored this third girl, she made like $600, and she was crazy with that. She was so motivated, and I remember that she asked me, "I'm making 600. I haven't done anything but sponsor this girl." And I said, "Well, yes, but I sponsored my two cousins under you." And she was like, "What? How much money are you making?" And I was like, "Almost 7,000."
Estella. I mean, I've always believed in the power of creating some depth, and placing people
Exactly.
under leaders. I've always thought that makes sense, and fires are lit from the bottom, and I mean, you don't get carried away with it, but sometimes it definitely is a very good strategy. And look what had happened here with Liz. She saw a little activity, got a check, and then finally saw the picture.
Exactly. And also, I mean, you need to be careful with that, but if it is your sister, I mean, and I love my sister, and I know that, I mean, she's a hard worker no matter what she's involved in. So I knew if she could understand, she was going to build it. So I'm so happy and so grateful that I decided to do that. I mean, like my right arm here. I mean, she worked so hard. She spent 2 months in Spain a couple of months ago. She spent 2 months there driving and doing presentations every night. That's the only way to build art. We need to do presentations and show the people how this works.
Yeah, let's talk about your strategies. I've got a few questions. I'm sure a lot of people are wondering. First of all, let's talk about the fact that here you are in a country, and by the way, I believe you're such a blessing to your country, and you are giving so many people hope and dreams and income and health. You're making a huge impact there, obviously, more than you probably would ever want to even think about. But you have really an average income that is only $400 or $500 a month or something like that. And how are people able to buy juice and build a business with those kinds of incomes?
Well, I know it's amazing, but you know something. I've never believed, and I will never believe that this is a matter of money, because I've been in this industry for so many years to know that money is a matter of priorities, and no matter what you do, you find the money if you're convinced this is worth it. I mean, I've seen, here the sacrifices that some people have done here, like I don't know, so many years ago I found a guy that was really poor, Art, really poor. And he said, okay, either way I sign up for this kit and I join this, or I take this money and I feed my baby. And I was like, you're crazy. And he said, well, I can give him tea for 3 days.
Wow.
And he did. And when you're willing to do that, you're willing to work. I mean, my cousin, one of the girls that I sponsor under my sister, she studied here in Mexico in one of the best universities here for 4 years. She was a designer, and she was with this working from 9 to 6, and she was making $600.
Wow.
I know. So, and she was so afraid to build this, but my nephews were like all the time alone, by themselves. And my cousin, her husband was working every day from 9 to 10 p.m. And they didn't have, they were not bad because he was making more money, but what was like an insult, it was how much money she was making after studying. And that's the problem here. Doesn't matter if you study or not. The salaries are really bad. So when I signed it, I signed her up here was because of her allergies. That was the reason for me to approach. And I said, okay, if you don't want to build this, because she was like, I'm so shy, I don't know anybody. And I was like, okay, drink the juice for your allergies. But you know who was the first person that she sponsored? Her doctor.
Wow.
Because of the allergies, because she couldn't believe she was free of allergies after 2 months of drinking the juice. So she joined her, and then it was another doctor, and then it was another girl, and then she started getting excited. And I remember that day like yesterday when I was sitting here in my office, and suddenly I saw through the window my cousin yelling from the door like she was calling, prima, prima. That's like, cousin, cousin, cousin. And she got to hear, but I was over the phone with somebody in Zango, so I couldn't speak. I was like, this is a long distance. I can talk. And so she wrote it down, a note, and she left running. So when I hung up the phone and I grabbed the note, it was so funny because she wrote down, cousin, 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 I just got my check. It was her first check with the pool, and she was making $22,000.
Wow.
A
$22,000 check in Mexico. That must be.
I mean, can you imagine? She was making $600.
Yeah.
$600. I mean, my cousin was yelling at me that night. He was drunk and everything. Like, oh my God, I can't believe this. I mean, and that excitement, of course, brings people in.
Yeah, yeah.
You know.
Well,
and that commitment, of course. I mean, that woman works a lot. You know?
Well, let me ask you this, Estella. So you've got somebody here who, in this particular example, basically gave up food money for his child. Yeah. Obviously, when somebody like that sponsors that is in that situation, he has to get into action immediately. I mean, what kind of steps would you walk somebody like that through to become successful in this, that's in that desperate situation? It's like we were talking about the other day on the call. You know, over here, you know, people wait 2 or 3 weeks, you know, let's get some juice and we'll try it and we'll sit around and we'll think and we'll make our list, and 3 weeks or a month have gone by and they haven't done really anything. But somebody in that situation obviously can't sit around and wait.
But you know something, Art, we don't, I mean, we put people in a hurry, but not only people that is in such a need of money. I mean, every time that I sign up somebody, I just tell them this, and I'm convinced about it. The only people that have results in this industry and had results in the past, no matter the company, is people that build this fast. I don't believe in any other way of building this. I believe part of the way you build this business is fast. It's running. Other way, I don't think it works. I mean, I sponsor somebody, and that very night, at the end of the meeting, I am setting a next appointment to make the list or start making the phone call. And if you put your group in that momentum, like, and they feel the hurry that you have, like this, because, I mean, other ways, like you just said, I mean, if I said, okay, see you next week, oh, my God.
Yeah.
I mean, that's such a waste of time. And in a week, people forget, and also the enthusiasm or whatever emotion they were feeling, it is gone. I mean, I need to take advantage of that moment when they happen to understand and said, yes, I'm interested in this. I want to build this. Okay, let's build this. But, I mean, I remember one day Ken Wood was sharing these numbers with me, well, with us here, saying that if the people qualify 1K before a month, I mean, after a month they sign up, that they stay in the business for, I mean, almost for good. I mean, they stay because it suddenly seems so easy.
Yeah.
And that's our focus here. What we try to do is to, as soon as we can, help them qualify 1K. And I think that's the reason why we're growing. Because, I mean, last month we have We have 183 new one case.
In July.
In July.
Wow.
In July. And because that's why we focus on, to sign up people and start doing meetings. Well, we do the meetings every night now. Every night. And I didn't used to do this. We used to go to everybody's place and do the presentation, one-on-one, whatever. But now we changed this from a few months ago, and we rent this place, and we do the presentations there, and it's the premiers that are doing the presentations every night and every day at 10 a.m. So people, they just need to bring the new guy to the presentation, and that's it. And it's been working.
Well, that's what I remember you talking about on Andy Willoughby, and it was basically about how you have decided to step it up. You started to have meetings, and you ended up actually just renting a house to have meetings in or something like that, right? So you could have them all the time.
Exactly. So we will be able to do meetings as many times as we wish, because you know how much it costs to rent a room or whatever. So we rented this huge house. Anton was here yesterday. He was amazed. Oh, this is the basement of the house that we rented.
Okay. This is the house that you rented then, just to hold meetings in, right?
Just to have meetings, just to have meetings. And these are some of the people that work for me, and one of my downlines there. We were just starting to put the screen and everything, and we have meetings here every day at 10 a.m. and every day at 8 p.m. And some of the days we have at 12 p.m. and at 6 p.m. So it's like, oh my gosh, so many meetings. We just have a meeting this morning at 10. Then we had a workshop. This is a house from outside. And it's a beautiful house. So, I mean, you can, this is a good image to present to the people, to the guys that you're inviting, because it's a pretty well-known neighborhood, and it's a rich neighborhood. This is one of the meetings. And
is this in a house?
This is in the house. This is
wow, it's a big house.
I know. I know. In this room that you saw with the chairs, it's the same room, but from the other side.
Oh, I see.
And it's you can put there 230. We put already.
230 you've had in your house, and you're having these meetings 2 times a week, 6 days a week, or 5 days a week?
We have them 2 times a day from Monday to Thursday. Friday we have 4 meetings, and Saturday we have 2 more. So it's a lot.
Okay, so the Monday through Thursday schedule, those are all opportunity meetings then, right?
Yeah, and also Friday. It's only opportunity meetings, but Friday we made it. We make it at 10, 12, 6, and 8, and then Saturday we just have one opportunity meeting. Well, 2. One at 10 a.m. and one at 5 p.m. The only day that we rest is Sundays, and it's exciting. I mean, every day is packed, even though it's raining so hard right now here in Mexico, and that's a lot of traffic because my city where I live is so complicated. And
well, you were saying on Andy's call that the 8 o'clock call. I mean, some people have to drive 2 hours and just to get to the meeting.
But you know what we did, because it's been a while since I talked to Andy. I mean, we opened 2 new houses. One in the west and one in the north, and we're having meetings there. And now we're having like 80 people in the new one, and around like 80 more. So it's a lot of people every night. I mean, we here in this house that you're watching now, we have like 150 every night.
Wow. So you obviously have lots of different presenters there that are presenting in different places now, right?
Well, it was funny because at the beginning it was only the premieres, but since we need to travel, we made like an audition, like an American Idol audition, and we put a 20 case and the 5 case to show it to us and we decided which one was better. And now those kids are helping us. I mean, those people are helping us, and they are doing presentations in all the other houses. And yeah, we're excited. We're excited, Art. This is amazing. And well, everything that is going on with the products now in Zango, I mean, it's so much that we can offer to the people. But we just talk about business in these opportunity meetings. We don't talk about products or anything. We just talk about the business opportunity this can be. And we just say to the people, I mean, this company wouldn't sell $1 billion with products that are not truth. I mean, you need to understand this is it. And if you want to, I mean, you need to find out about the product. But we have a workshop for that lasts 2 hours, and it's great because I was telling Kent, I was in Zango this week.
Yeah.
And I was telling Kent that it's amazing because I mean I'm so happy with what we're doing because in those workshops we can openly talk to the people about the product and what the product is doing because it's known in people. It's like everybody that is there are associates that just want to find out about the product.
Yeah, so that's what you had mentioned before. So you have your opportunity meetings during the week, and then you rotate a series of workshops still with all different topics that you think that each new person wants to go through all 4 of those. Is that how that's working still?
Exactly. That's how we do it. Exactly. We have the opportunity meetings, and then as soon as people sign up, we have 2 workshops per week. But I mean, it's the same workshops. It's 4 workshops that is being shown every week twice, and we talk just the basics there, like how to make a list, who's Joe Morton, I mean, who are the founders, where is the company, how can you call Zango, the phone numbers, how to fill up the application, because here it's a little complicated to fill up the application, and we need to sign it up and send it to Zango, and so many things that it's just the basics.
You know, what I really like about your story, Estella, from when we talked before, is that now you've started to duplicate this process of these meetings now, and you have other meetings, and you know, of course, and you're doing them in houses, right? Which means that anybody that wants to start having their own meeting can have a house. You've chosen not to do hotels for that. Why is that?
Because it's too expensive. And like now, I mean, at the beginning we were just doing the night meetings. But then, I mean, since we own the house we rented the house, so we can do as many meetings as we want. Yeah,
right.
So it's better.
Way more affordable.
Cheaper.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And also, I mean, some of the premiers, they have like trainings, specific trainings with their team. So they said, okay, can I use the house this Sunday afternoon or what? So it's amazing what we're doing because it's working so good. And but yeah, I mean, it's way more cheaper, and it's always the same house. I mean, the same address, because sometimes when you're in a hotel, I mean, you're depending on disponibility of the hotel, and sometimes they change the ballroom, and it's the same everywhere. So for us, it's this address, and that's it, and people know.
What is this picture? This looks like a big meeting at a regional event, or that's a hall or something?
Oh, no, that's something that we do also every 4 or 5 weeks. That it's a seminar. So we invite somebody.
This is like a Super Saturday then, right?
Exactly. Yeah. We have around 1,000 people every month in those.
1,000 people every month.
Yeah.
For the Super Saturday. Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, because people from outside come, you know, from Cuernavaca, places that are maybe 1 hour, 2 hours, 3, 4 hours from here.
Wow.
So it's more. Yeah, we're happy.
I'm just
We're so
amazed
happy.
at what you're doing there, Estella, and it's just an incredible story. I know that you have much in your heart, that you'd love to see people become successful. You get a great deal of pleasure about turning people's lives financially around. I mean, what is it? I mean, and you were here working so hard. What is it that's driving you and motivating you now, would you say, to keep going at this pace?
It's so funny that you asked that, because you know something. This past Saturday, we had the seminar, and it was my sister. The speaker was my sister. She hadn't done a seminar for 3 years now, and the topic that she talked about was a dream, and she talked about so many well-known people that were successful and go, over really tough situations because they had a dream. And that's what she talked about, that you need to have something that moves you and that motivates you.
Right.
Other way, it's impossible. And, there's so many things. I mean, at the beginning, it's always money.
Yeah.
I believe people is always looking for money, but then you get involved. I mean, in my office, I have this thing full of pictures from all my downlines, and then I asked some of them to give me pictures of their sons. I love kids. So I have a lot of children here watching at me every day, working here at my office. But when I look at these kids, I'm just so happy that I'm being a part of the work that. Oh, look! I put some of. It's a huge thing what I have here. I just put some of the pictures, but it's for them. It's sometimes I just think about my downlines and these beautiful babies, and they deserve the world. Just like their parents, and we're building this with so much heart, and yes, we're changing the reality for so many people here.
Yeah, you are.
It's exciting. Yeah. It's exciting, and yeah, I started like everybody else, just looking for the money, and then you get involved with your downlines, and then you get involved with their families, and then you're building this with so much energy and passion, and it's because of the people. I believe it's because of the people. When somebody in your group qualifies premier, that's when you realize that makes you much more happy than when you qualify. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's true.
How happy can you feel for somebody else's success? Just like, I never had that feeling before, but while I watched an Olympic game or something, that no matter who that person is or whose country that person is, which country, your heart starts beating so fast when you see those kids crying with listening to the I don't know how you call that, the hymno, your country. I don't know how to say that. The music of your country.
Oh yeah, the anthem. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and the flags, and that's. I believe everybody gets emotional just thinking about that or watching something like that. And here it happens the same. It's exactly the same, but even more, because you know what that people had to go through to be there. You know how many things he had to go over, from like being scared to just grab the phone and make a phone call, and and even though you don't know, some of the times it's your downline, but some of the times they're not. But anyway, you get excited because you know the way. You've been there, so it's amazing. This is an amazing.
Estella, I just have an idea here to finish off the call here. I know you've got to go soon here. You've got Aaron Garrity in there, and we've got about We've got about 400 or so, I would say, on the call today, and these are all leaders, I would say. If they come to the call on a Saturday, they want to learn more.
No.
And here you, to me, have the most, or at least as much momentum going in all of Zango of any distributor. I don't care who they are. I don't know of anyone else that's really doing. I mean, you are a light for all of Zango. What could you say to those listening that are on the call today and have not, seen the success? And what would you say to them? What advice could you give them? What action steps? What could they do, to turn their business on, do you think, at this point?
I don't know. I believe, like I was saying, sometimes we just need to understand how this business works. I believe nobody that is not in a rush or is like running fast is going to have results first. I believe people need to understand they need to run. They need to build this fast. But that's like part of the work we need to do here. I believe that it's really, really important that they find a reason, a really important emotional reason to build this. They need to find a dream. And I'm telling you, when I started in this industry, I thought I didn't have a dream, Art. I was so depressed, so confused. And I thought I didn't have a dream. And I asked all my front line, what do you want? What do you want from this business? And I just put pictures of their dreams in my board. And then after 2 years, that was in the other company when I started in the industry. After I read so many books, I realized that another people's dream wouldn't be enough for me to run this fast. And I found out my dream. I thought about it and what moved me. And I was so afraid of depending on somebody else. I was so afraid of not having enough for me or my family. And that was my dream. And sometimes it's like the anti-dream, all these things that you're afraid of. And my sister was talking at the seminar a week ago. She was saying, she had a surgery, and she came to tears on stage a week ago because she was very sick. And she had this surgery, and I was out of Mexico, and I was with economic situations too before I got into Zango. And she was sharing with people how frustrating and how bad she felt just to watch my daddy's face, so worried about, what we were going to do with the money, And she was like there, lying on the bed in the hospital, thinking, this is not fair. To put my dad through this worries, and I believe sometimes it's like a dream, like your house. You want a house, you want a better future for your kids, and sometimes it's just that you don't want to go through that pain ever again. But you need to find something that really moves you and puts you to work. And we only have one life, Art. We need to make the best out of each day because we don't know what can happen tomorrow or the day after tomorrow. We lost our dad in an accident a few months later. It was so painful, because now that we're happy and we are wealthy and we wish we could have our dad here with us, drinking the juice and being peaceful because all the economic things were solved. And we know that somewhere he's watching and he's happy, but I wish we could save from him all this pain or worries. And I don't know. I believe that we need to do this now, that we can, and that we're healthy because we never know.
So you've got to have a dream that motivates you, that causes you to have this passion, this desire to change it. You have to be really in touch with that dream. It has to be something. It could be a dream of something you want, or it could be a dream of something you don't want. And then what you have said, you've got to build it fast. I've known this to be true as well. You know, you've got to make more contacts, more calls, you know, more appointments, more presentations, more follow-ups, way more than you've been doing if you're not happy with how your business is going.
Yes, you need to do that. I mean, this picture that we're looking at, this is my sweet brother, but he's a musician, Art. And if you want to be a musician, you need to have something else to live from, you know. He loves his music, but, I mean, we are building a business for him because we love him. And we know that, well, maybe one day he will build it. But in the meanwhile, he's about to qualify Premier, and it's my sister and me just building this business for him, for his son that we adore. And,
wow.
Yeah, we're happy. We're happy, but we need to find a reason. Everybody needs to find a reason.
You know, Estella, the one thing just before we get off here, when you talk about building fast, you know, and just to clarify that a little bit, I mean, how does that look for you then? Making the list, making the calls, you know, just getting on the phone and working with your sponsor upline?
Yeah, I believe doing presentations. I mean, sharing these like with this desperation, you know. That I believe that's it. I mean, because when I started, I didn't have the list ready. I just started calling, and then I started writing names down. I mean, it was like backwards, you know. I was like thinking of so many people, and I just started dialing, and having meetings with my planner on my hands. I mean, like, I'm going to see you tomorrow, and then I'm going to see you tomorrow afternoon, and then I'm going to see the other person the day after tomorrow. And I believe it's the only way, you know, doing presentation, because this is, I mean, some people will see it, and some people will not. And it's painful for me to watch so many bad companies with bad products growing, because that means that it doesn't matter who gets, I mean, about the company. It matters about who gets first, because people don't analyze. Oh, look at my nephew. People don't analyze this. I wish people could, this is my brother and my nephew. I wish people could,
Oh, this is your brother here. Sorry about that. Yeah, I wasn't supposed to be showing everything there that was going on.
It's okay. Don't worry. I sometimes, I wish people really get into internet and found out what tango is. But I'm convinced that, and that's one of the saddest parts of this industry, is that people sign up with the company they're invited to. People don't analyze, they don't read. I mean, some of them do, but most of them don't. They just believe whatever the other guy says. And if that guy is convinced, he's going to convince them. And it's sad, because it's a matter of who gets first. That's why I believe it's also a good reason to do this in a hurry.
You know,
because, I mean,
one question that a lot of us have over here, and I know several people have tried to ask it during the webinar, you know, how do you get people out to these meetings? And I think it has a lot to do with the enthusiasm, of course, rather than what you say. It's how you feel about what you say. But, I mean, you know, how do you get people to come to these meetings? You know, what is it that you teach people to say to actually get them to show up? We always have a challenge with that here.
I know, and it's a challenge too. I mean, the invitation is one of the hardest parts here, because we just ask them to say not product, not the word product, because people can't believe that they're gonna sell. We ask for them not to talk about a business, otherwise people will think that they will have to invest. So what we say basically is, I want to show you an opportunity that is related with advertising. It's huge, and I'm just allowed to bring 3 people, and I'm thinking about you. But you need to decide now, otherwise I need to look for somebody else. And that helps a lot, you know, because that's what we do. We advertise. We don't sell anything.
Right.
And this is an opportunity, and so we're not lying at all. And what we said that I think it helps a lot is that we said they only allow me to talk and to share this with 3 people.
You know, that's similar to what Doug Weed was talking about at our training here, you know, that we're looking for only a small number of people, and we're selecting people for this.
That helps because then they have to commit to go. Other way, if you just open the invitation, I mean, people can think, well, maybe I go, maybe I don't, and it doesn't matter.
Exactly. Well, Estella, just to finish off here, I've got a picture of the Thrive Zango Convention event coming up. I mean, how important is convention? Why should people come to that?
Yeah. This is the key point here. I mean, I believe that everybody can get sponsored at a convention. I mean, and this convention this year is so important. And with every convention, I don't know if that happens to you. I bet it happens to you that you come out and you said, oh my God, I cannot believe this was even better than last year, because it happens like that. And you enjoy more and more because you understand more and more, and you have more and more people, and you're growing more and more. So everything makes it exciting. But if the people is not sure about this and about building this, that's the best way to find out if you're in the right place. To show up to one of these meetings, to one convention. I mean, it's just once a year. I mean, people need to think that if they miss this, they will have to wait for a year to understand where they're getting to. I mean, this is amazing, and it's going to be amazing. I mean, here, it's so tough for us to be there. I mean, people need to find the visas, and, I mean, and it's expensive. I mean, for you that live there, it's like a must. It doesn't matter where you are. I was in Brazil once, and Brazil is a huge country, and I remember I was talking to the girl that picked me up at the airport, and she said to me, I had to resign my job because for me to be here, since I couldn't pay the airfare, took me 5 days on a bus.
Wow.
Because she was in the other extreme. So that's something that people need to think about. When you get to know people that is willing to quit their jobs because there's no other way, because they can make it other way, and travel 5 days to be there. I mean, if the guys that you're inviting are questioning things and are saying, well, I don't know, I'm not sure, that's not the right person.
Yeah,
exactly. You just need to go ahead and look for somebody else, because people that is willing to build this, they will. They will do, and they will go, and they will understand, and they will start calling. When you found people that are calling you and you not calling them, that's the right people.
Exactly.
Right people.
I think sometimes, we're just trying to drag the horses to water that don't want to drink, And we just don't have the right horses. That's all it is.
Exactly, Art.
Well, thanks a lot, Estella, so much for coming on.
Thank you for this opportunity. Thank you, Art, for this opportunity. And I can't wait to see you and all your group at convention.
Okay, well, let's open up the line so we can thank Estella. She's very busy with Aaron Garrity coming in today in Mexico, and did a meeting last night, Anton Garrity there. Just let's open up the line so we can give her a big cheer, okay? Cheer, okay? Thank you.